Hello friends, how are you all? Welcome to our CSS training session. Today we will talk about an important CSS property called overflow. This property determines what will happen when the content inside a corner becomes larger than its size. So let's dive into what to overflow property is. With the overflow property, we can control how the content behaves when it exceeds the container size. You can set a fixed height for the content. Keep it within the container or let it overflow outside the box. First, let's look at overflow visible. This is the default value. If the content is larger than the container, it will be visible even outside the box. Now let me open my code editor and show you an example. Here you can see Overflow visible. Select the class and give it a new look. The width here is set to 120 pixels and the height is 70 pixels. The overflow is set to visible and the border is solid black. The background color is light yellow. This is the default behavior. Overflow is visible by default. Even if we don't specify this, it will work automatically. Here's the class with overflow visible. You can see the content inside it and the output will look something like this. As you can see, the content is visible outside the box. It's overflowing, which means it's going beyond the set size of the box. This is what we call overflow when content extends outside the corner like in this example. Next, we have overflow hidden. With this property, if the content goes outside the corner, outside the container, it gets clipped, meaning it will no longer be visible. Let's look at an example. I will apply this to my container and you will see that the content that was previously overflowing outside is now hidden. Here as you can see the content beyond the container's boundary is no longer visible because I set the overflow to hidden. The third option is overflow scroll. With this property, whether the content fits or not, the scroll bar will always be visible. Let's see an example of this. If I remove the visible content from here, you will still see that the scroll bar appears. The scroll bar will always be shown regardless of whether the content overflows or not. This way, we can apply scroll bars to the container. The last option is overflow auto. The scroll bar will only appear when the content is larger than the container. Let's see this with an example. I will add the content back here and after removing it, I will set the overflowing to auto. Now you can see that when the content overflows, the scroll bar appears. If I remove the content again, the scroll bar will disappear. This means the scroll bar is applied only when the content overflows and exceeds the height of the container. If the content fits within the container, the scroll bar won't be visible. So friends, you can also set different values behaviors, overflow behaviors for the horizontal and vertical direction using overflow X and overflow Y. Here's an example. I'm going to copy the example here. As you can see, I have set overflow hidden. The height is 70 pixels and the width is 120 pixels. What happens here is that the overflow is hidden in both and the horizontal and vertical directions. Now if the content increase horizontally, there won't be a scroll bar because overflow X is set to hidden. If the content overflows vertically and I set overflow hidden, the overflow will be hidden. But if I change it to visible, the content will extend outside the container. If I remove it from here and set overflow X to auto, you will see that the scroll bar will appear when necessary. So in this way, we can set the overflows property differently for the horizontal and vertical directions as per our requirements. The overflow property is very useful layout management. It ensures that the content fits properly and if more content is added, we have control over how it behaves. Let me give you an example. I will copy this example here. This is a normal example. The container's width is set to 300 pixel and the content inside it 500 pixels wide. As a result, the content goes beyond the container. Now I'll set a background color to the container. You can see the background color, but it is hidden behind the content. Next, I'll make the container size smaller, reducing it with to 100 pixel. Now you can see the background color of the container, which is 300 pixel wide behind it. If I increase the container height to 200 pixels and then further to 350 pixels, you will see that we can control the layout and the scroll bar behavior. We can adjust the scroll, set it to auto or visible as required. By properly using this overflow property, you can make your design more user friendly and professional. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the comments. Keep smiling and happy coding. Thank you.